Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can already see on the screen. If you are going to do a bit of business in 2022, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below or on our website www.lionstv.co.uk. It feels good to be back. It's been about 10 days since my last video, of course. Just before the World Cup break, we beat Preston on the road by 4-2, and Zian Fleming got a hat-trick in that game. But obviously the international break is pretty much over for us now. We face Brondby on Saturday at the Den, and the following Saturday we are back in action away at Sunderland. And these games now could coincide with World Cup matches depending on how we get on, if we win the group or not. It's looking likely at the minute, if I'm honest. But games against Sunderland and Luton especially, which will coincide with a World Cup final, will go ahead whilst Championship fixtures run, and Millwall in particular. So a very interesting time. As I've said, let's move on to Saturday's game against Brondby at the Den. Always an interesting one when foreign opposition come to Den. I think it's one that will attract maybe more of a crowd if we had played maybe a lower league side or another Championship side. Of course, Denmark are in the World Cup, so they are also on their international break. They're a big club in Denmark, Copenhagen in particular. They are one of the giants of the division, if you like, but they're struggling at the minute. They are currently managerless, having sacked their manager, Niels Frederiksen, after a bad run of results, sees them 10th in the division, but there's only about 14 teams in it. They did win the league in 2020-21, but last time out they came third, and their Copenhagen rivals, FC Copenhagen, ended up winning the league. So I'm not expecting a what's it called, a Husky derby. Who did we play in that game? Can't remember what they're called, but they were a good side. I'm not expecting Brondby to be up to that sort of level, and it's going to be good for the players to get back out there. As I said, I've seen on social media a few of them have been away, been abroad. They will be back in training by now. They wouldn't have had too long off, and it's a good opportunity to not keep the momentum running, because it has halted, but to get minutes in the tank and get the players back playing ahead of next Saturday's trip to Sunderland, which is a 12 o'clock kickoff. I believe. What will Gary Rowett do? Well, as I said, we're on this little bit of a good run at the minute, and we're literally in the playoffs. So we want to keep that going if possible. We want to give as many players that he's going to play next Saturday at Sunderland plenty of minutes. However, the whole squad will play. So I think you'll probably see Gary Rowett do a 45 one team, 45 another team. But I imagine the team that starts on Saturday will be his team going forward for next Saturday at Sunderland. And with not many injuries at all at the minute, to be fair, I think only Ryan Leonard came off the bench. I think he was the last one remaining. Am I missing anyone? Maybe Sean Hutchinson. But look, we've got a good squad, plenty to choose from. And I expect the team that starts on Saturday against Brondby to be the team to start at Sunderland at the Stadium of Light the following Saturday. And so, on the basis of it being a friendly against foreign opposition, and Gary Rowett will probably use the entire squad, I don't think there's much point me doing a prediction for this game. I'm going to quickly talk about, which isn't something I usually delve into, but I think I better, is the fact that Christmas could be cancelled, kids. So go to the third and fourth things on your list, because you might not get 1 and 2, the Millwall home kit and the Millwall away kit. What's happened is, I saw the club put out a statement on Twitter saying, unfortunately, that due to circumstances beyond their control, they've had to close the club shop. I've looked into it a little bit. So basically, Hummel produce our kit. They also produce Southampton, Coventry and Everton. However, Everton use a company called Fanatics to supply the Hummel kits, obviously, and distribute it in and amongst the world and the UK. So although Hummel make kits, they probably haven't got the licence to distribute them. Millwall, Coventry and Southampton use a company called Elite Sports Group. They have gone into administration. So, I would at this point usually say that could only happen to us, but it is literally out of the club's control, and it's not going to reflect well on the club, and people will be screaming down the phone at the club if they can get hold of anyone answers it, ever. But look, the company's gone into administration. I don't know why I'm laughing, it's not funny. So if anyone's placed online orders, you could now potentially lose them, because if this company's had your money and they've not distributed what you've paid for and they go under, then that's it, everything freezes and you won't be getting any kits. So the club shop, to my knowledge, is closed. And at the minute, you can't buy any Millwall kits online. It's not the club's fault. So I'd just like to make that clear, because I know people, as I said, will be screaming at the club. It's not the club's fault. It's the person that distributes the club. Coventry and Southampton also now in the same boat, because they also use Elite Sports Group. They're in for an absolute fucking mouthful over this Christmas period. And so that's your lot for this little bit of a preview / roundup show. I think it's the first video I've put out in 10 days. And I've got to be honest, for the first time in nearly 7 years of doing live TV, I haven't missed it one bit, which is worrying. But I'm sure I'll be ready and firing for the extensive Christmas calendar that is coming up. And of course, we get going again on Saturday at the Den against Brondby, 1 PM kickoff. I'll see you there if you're going. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.